such a positive reception and that last video that I posted that I thought, you know, I have several of these little flutes that I would go ahead and show one more. I don't remember, in fact, I can't even really read where this particular one is from. I have the other one from the last video right here. And somebody commented, two things I want to address. The first thing, somebody commented and said something about trilling and there's a thumb hole on the back and that I wasn't really playing it. And I assure you, I was most definitely playing it. I will play it again right here, and I will not cut this video, deviate from it. You will not see any editing. Like, this is it. I'm gonna leave it straight. So I was definitely playing it. I didn't do any trilling in that video. I did some flicks like you just heard right there. So, which is just one finger, one flick move. It's a grace note essentially, and it's pretty fast. A trill would be several of those back and forth really fast. That's a trill that you can sing my finger, but a grace note is only going to be one. And so unless you're zooming in with a magnifying glass or some kind of zoom, you're not going to necessarily see my fingers flip for a grace note. So a grace note is just going to be. And so on that top grace note is just this finger, but my other fingers block it, and so you can't see it. But that doesn't mean I'm not playing it, because I assure you I am most definitely playing it. And then the reason I played with an accompaniment track is so that you can test to see whether it's in tune. Because unless you have perfect hearing, or perfect hearing, not perfect hearing, excuse me. But unless you have perfect pitch, and I don't have perfect pitch, I have very good trained pitch in hearing. But if you have perfect pitch, then you can tell it's out of tune, but very few people have perfect pitch, so you're not going to be able to tell it's out of tune. So the easiest way to tell whether something's in tune or not is if you play it with something else that is going to be in tune. And I made that accompaniment track in the computer, and therefore it's going to be in tune. And I knew ahead of time it was in the key of C, that it was going to be in tune, and I was either going to be able to play this instrument with it in tune or I wasn't. And of course I am a professional, and I'm able to compensate and help play it in tune, but not always, because I'm human and I'm not perfect. But I was able to do that, and it sounded fairly decent and fairly well. So that is that little tidbit. We're going to put that aside, and we're going to move on, and we're going to look at this one. And I have this one is about 10 years old, and my friend went on a trip. I want to say she went on the Bahamas. We were talking about it, and she couldn't remember where she went, but I want to say she went on a trip with her mom. And she was like, oh, I found this little flute and I got it for you. And of course, I'm definitely grateful. I'm very thankful for it, and it's fun and exciting, and it has some really cool detail on it. It has some writing right here, but I can't make out really what it says. And then there's a little snake right here, and it looks like part of it's missing. And obviously this looks like the country was right here, and I guess I could look it up. And it was something glued on that fell off, and then there are the holes, and you can tell by the holes that they're definitely kind of carved in because they're splitting. And but the interesting about this one does have a thumb hole. However, that thumb hole is not centered. It is off-centered, and it is off-centered to the left, which is a little weird. It's not directly behind. If it was directly, here's the first finger. If it was directly behind, it would be positioned here, and it's not. This is how a recorder is, and I should have a recorder and I don't. So you can see on this one, again, even if someone was like, well, where's the sticker? So go ahead, let's peel the sticker off on video. The sticker's gone. So now you can see, here's the thumb hole, here's the first hole. There is no thumb hole. Oh, there's the camera. There is no thumb hole. There's nothing. Here's where the thumb hole should be versus where it is. Now, that's where I would assume, from my knowledge, that it would be. However, there might be some reason that it is over here. I don't foresee that there is. It doesn't make any sense that there is. Because I don't know why it would be to the left. And unless I knew where it was from and was able to go, I wouldn't. The other interesting and the sad thing is I have a dog, and he is a big boy, and I usually keep this in my living room on a bookshelf, and he doesn't destroy things or chew things up at all, and he doesn't notice things at all. But when he was a puppy, I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't think about it. He knocked it off with his tail, and what does it look like to a dog? It looks like a stick. And he grabbed it and he chewed on the end. So he had to do that. So it's really sad. And it did crack, which is sad, but it's okay. And then you can see in the hole. I do think this is a bamboo type wood as well, but it's also definitely has lacquer on it. But actually, I don't think it is bamboo, because if you're looking at it, and I don't know if y'all can even see in the camera, it does look like, I don't know what kind of wood, but an actual, like a stick from a tree, like a tree limb that was hollowed out, and then they made a flute from it. Versus, but at the same time, it's notched at the end here to where it could be, but it couldn't be. But it doesn't have the same, I don't know, the same feel as far as like the grain that would make me think that it's still bamboo, but it could be, it couldn't be. I don't really know. It's neither here nor there. And then of course, here's the fipple. But the cool thing is you can see even here on the back where it actually is hand carved, and they've carved it and they've made it fit. Another interesting thing is, and I tried to shake it out, is there's a little piece inside. I don't know where it's from. I mean, obviously it's from the flute, like it's obviously from the instrument, but I don't know whether it's because the end got a little eaten, or if it's because something on the fipple fell off, or something inside, or when they made it, they didn't clean it out. I don't ever remember it rattling before. So I'm not exactly sure what it is. I tried to shake it out, but I'm like, hey, there's two instruments and one. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now, without an accompaniment track, so we're not gonna know this time. If you would like me to play it with an accompaniment track, in fact, I don't know, well, what the tuning is because I forgot to look and check it out. We could figure it out together. I got my piano right here. That sounds like a D. Yeah, so this one's in D, whereas this one is in C. And then you have this one. So you can hear the two that this one is lower. That doesn't mean, even though the D was not bad, that it's necessarily in tune and I necessarily play it. So I'm not gonna cut away and we're gonna play it right now. So that's about, most of these type instruments you're gonna get about 2 octaves, and that's about it. I was just checking, I'll tell you what my brain actually was thinking, because I remembered I have a thumb hole, so I was thinking more on the lines of, Sarah, you should play this more like a recorder instead of a penny whistle, which is how I play the other ones. It's like a penny whistle, and a penny whistle there is no thumb hole, so that's what that was. So see, we're live. So again, it's a little flute that one of my friends brought me back from a trip from somewhere, and I don't remember. And I hope that you enjoyed this little video, and I hope that you learned something and it was informative. And I hope that you subscribe. I have new videos coming out weekly, and I hope that you will share them and like them. And I thank you for your for watching, and have a great day.